got a lot of lessons left to learn, but I'm not even close. Through my inhibition, I've become quite sure that I love you the most.
Well, that's as far as the old truck gets us, and now we're unloading the ponies, and it sounds like we got a heck of a ride in. We are back up here again, Finley River Outfitters, and came back this time, and we've got a beautiful couple stretch of days for the weather. We are heading into a higher country camp, and I got a goat tag in my pocket this year. Goat and moose. There's some giant moose up here, but if the weather holds out and we can get up high, I really want to try and test out the new Weatherby on a mountain goat. I've always wanted to kill one, so these guys have one of the best areas in the world as far as I'm concerned. Giant goats and plenty of them. So if the weather holds up, we're gonna hunt hard and try and get both a moose and a goat on the ground. But it sounds like we got a bit of a trek in, and we're gonna help our guide Wes get the ponies saddled up and loaded up and start the trail ride in. It'll be about 6 hours. So not my favorite part of the trip, but it's part of the adventure. You got to get into where these animals live, and unfortunately that's oftentimes not where the truck can get. So we'll make some new friends and see if these horses get along with us, and hopefully we don't get dumped.
Ever since doing my first horseback moose hunt in the Yukon back in 2020, I'll admit that it seems to call my name every year now. I was never a mountain hunter growing up, and I certainly didn't care for horses either. But for some reason, the allure of riding horses through the remote mountains in search of moose and mountain goats has been something that's kept me coming back year after year. Last fall, I joined the crew with Finley River Outfitters for the first time and harvested a giant old bull along the river on Thanksgiving Day. While on that hunt, Hunter and Jordy kept telling me about the incredible mountain goat hunting that they're fortunate to have in their area, and although I've never really been a goat hunter, I'll admit that I was intrigued. In the middle of September, Jordy called me to let me know that he had a cancellation spot available, and the weather was looking great to get up into the mountains in search of a goat. With such short notice, it was tough to make it work, but less than 2 weeks later, we found ourselves once again riding deep into the mountains of northern British Columbia, this time in search of an ancient old billy.
Oh, it is a cold, frosty morning, but we're up. We got the horses back in camp. We just had a big breakfast, and we're about to saddle up and head into the mountains for the first day of hunting. Sounds like we're gonna head kind of up higher into some higher country, maybe get above tree line, looking primarily for goats, but if we see a moose, down on the bottom on the way, we're definitely gonna take a look at them. I know there's some giant moose in here, so it was a good night though, and it's only about half hour after daylight, so making good time, and I'm excited to see what today brings. I just never really put my eyes on many goats before, and always new country is exciting to see, so kind of see what today has in store for us. I am going to throw my gaiters on though, just for this frost. First day is always just kind of a gong show trying to get organized, but rifle, this, spotting scope, camera gear. The rest of it we can make work without. But yeah, I'm going to throw my gaiters on, I think.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, Rexbid Broadheads, the MD of Bonnyville, Hoyt Archery, Weatherby, Deluxe Wall Tents, and Wapiti River Outdoors. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Wood Wheaton Supercenter, a proud supporter of our outdoor heritage.
There's definitely, for sure, one cow. We don't know if the other one's a calf or a bull. Dylan said he's seen it didn't have antlers, so we're thinking maybe cow and a calf, but we've only made it 10 minutes from camp. Kind of the first big avalanche chute that we've seen. And right where they're supposed to be, so that's good. We just don't know if there might be a bull nearby. Knew there was another moose. We could hear a bull grunting. And he stepped out and he's just a little doinker. And the fact that he was so close to the cow makes me think that there's not a bigger one here. But Wes has been giving him some soft cow calls and he's working his way down, which is cool. The cow was moaning a little bit too. So at least we're seeing some activity. There's nothing funner than calling a bull into bow range. We got him up there at about 200, and then Wes started calling a little bit, and he managed to pull him away from the cow that was there. And he come right down to the hill, wide open, and I ranged him closest he got broadside was 50.9 yards. Would have been exactly what you're hoping for if you were bow hunting. But eventually he's working his way back up. He's gonna go back to his cow there, and I guess the blood flowing though warms the guy up on a frosty morning in the mountains hunting moose. So, what do you think now, Wes? You want to carry on, or do you want to hang out here? What's the plan?
We'll keep going up.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep going up, and just because I don't think there's a bigger one here with them, so.
If there was a bigger bull here, he'd have had you.
Yeah.
As soon as that little guy started running,
I agree.
he'd been more.
I agree.
We spent the rest of the first day exploring some of the most beautiful country I've ever laid eyes on. Although we didn't find any goats that first day, I knew that we were in the right area, and time spent in the field would eventually pay off. But those plans were interrupted early the next morning when we were saddling up the horses to head out, and we heard the unmistakable sound of a bull moose headed down the valley right into camp.
We're not gonna wait all day.
Yeah.
Shoot him again. He's going down. Let me. Oh man.
We were literally standing in camp, and Dylan and I were sitting here just packing our bags, and we heard a bull grunt, and I didn't know if it was you down there messing around or what.
No.
And then I seen you come running back to camp. There's one there, and
I was in the outhouse. Oh man.
how often does that happen? He looks like a really good bull. I mean, he's...
Yeah, that's a decent bull for sure.
Well, I gave him 2 good ones. The second one I put right in the shoulder so that I tried to put him down. The first one hurt for sure. I mean, yeah, he's literally like 60 yards from the tent. And he was just cruising this creek. He was just heading up looking for cows probably.
If we hadn't been here, he'd have come right through camp.
He would have, yeah. He probably would have seen some of the horses and worked his way right up. But
in 10 minutes, we'd have been gone.
yeah, we were literally just getting ready to jump on the horses and leave. And he come to us instead. Which is weird, we hadn't even been doing any calling here or anything.
No, but they're moving hard now. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's heavy rut. I mean, yesterday we saw that small bull on the hill with a cow. And then today we just seen that, so that's pretty cool. I mean, how much easier does it get too? I don't even know if we really need the horses. We can just pack the quarters back to the camp, hang them up.
That's about as easy as it gets.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Scree Gear, Top-Notch Taxidermy Studio, Uniro Electric Bikes, Ole Smokes Coffee, Federal Premium Ammunition, High Mountain Seasonings, and Onyx Hunt. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by the MD of Bonnyville. Lake adventures happen here.
Oh, he's dead there, so we're gonna try and cross the river. Hopefully don't get too wet. And I'm curious to see what he looks like. I mean, through the trees, he looked like a really good bull. Wes said he was a shooter. We know he's a good bull. Like I said, I just don't know if he's 40 or 50 or... But we're about to find out. Where can a guy cross? Oh, just on top of the rocks there, huh?
The rocks will be really slippery.
They'll be slippery, yeah. Climbing up the bank might be fun. Yeah. Let me. Yeah, he was just cruising the river, eh? Yeah. Going from slide to slide.
Hunt him up. Hunt him up, and then just pick him up and drag him to camp.
Yeah. Just hook the long rope, we'll hook the horses onto him, they'll just drag him across. Oh, he stinks too. But that's a good bull. Like, this is a really good paddle on this side. Nice long points. We honestly had very little time to look at him. We heard him coming. It's one of those stories that you always hear about. Everybody's always shot a moose right from camp, but it never happens to you until it does. And this time, yeah, we had the horses saddled. We were doing our final checks, going through gear, getting ready to jump on the horse and ride away from camp when we all kind of heard a moose grunt. And I didn't know if it was Wes down the trail messing around. And then I seen him come scrambling back in, and he started waving, and we knew it was a bull, but none of us had a look at him. And then as he worked along the creek here, we were just catching glimpses of him, and then Wes let out a bit of a cow call, and he turned around and came. And I mean, still through the trees, we didn't know what he was. We just knew he was a good bull. And up here, this is what you're looking for. You might shoot a 60-incher, but you're really coming up for the adventure, and to get way back where we are is phenomenal. And to be coming out of here with a bull of this class, it's exactly what you hope to encounter. So couldn't be happier. We're on our, what is that, second day of the hunt. We've got 2 more tags in our pockets, and a whole lot of time left. So we're gonna get him cleaned up. It's gonna be the easiest pack out of life to the camp at least, and then re-gear and hit the trail tomorrow and see what else we can find.
Although I came into this hunt with hopes of hanging my tag on my first mountain goat, I've learned a long time ago to not pass up on opportunities along the way. The first 2 days of our hunt were action-packed, but we would spend the next 4 without seeing a single animal, making me that much more thankful for the moose hanging in camp. Finally, we made a climb into some of the nastiest mountains around, where we finally laid eyes on our first goats.
Just spotted the first 2 billies of the trip, so Wes and Dylan are taking a look at them, seeing what they look like. Wes doesn't figure they're real big at first glance, but they're kind of right up in the sunny peak, so and the moisture from today is almost out a bit of fog, so they're kind of working their way down, hoping we can maybe get a better look at them once they get out of that and see what they look like. But cool to see them. I've never really laid eyes on them on a hunt before, or actually had some glass to look at them. So it's
The one in the front might be a shooter. Maybe. We'll go up there to that side and then we'll be able to take the shooter.
okay. That one's definitely the smaller one.
Yeah, it is. It's probably a 3 or 4 maybe.
3 or 4-year-old Billy. Just looks like goat heaven back here. We're sneaking up over, but I also gotta kind of keep looking across where we haven't seen yet either, because there might be something bigger, more goats this way. So, but we're almost at the top, and then we should be able to peek around and get a look at them, or hopefully find them again. I don't think they're gonna go too far, but I'm curious to get eyes on them a little bit closer and get a good gauge on how big they are.
This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Scree Canada, rugged hunting clothing for Canada's terrain. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Tourism Saskatchewan.
They're both up there. We can see the one. Wes is having a look at them. They're about 680 yards. The second one is still down low. We don't know which one's which yet. But they're feeding up. And then, so we should be able to get a good look at them, make a judgment. Me personally, it looks like it'd be a tough place to get a stalk on them, just because they see us the whole way. But I guess first we have to determine if they're shooters or not. I didn't really believe it when everybody said that they are the hardest animal to judge, but I mean, I'm looking at that thing and it's like trying to read Chinese. It's a beautiful spot in here. There should be more goats around, but I mean, they could easily just be tucked in a corner up over the hills. So at least we got in here. We wanted to look at this basin, and there's goats in here. Just not the one we're looking for.
We spent over an hour studying these goats, trying everything we could to get them to grow. But in the end, they just weren't the class of billies that we had come all this way to try and find. With a moose already hanging in camp, we made the decision to walk away and keep looking for something bigger. As the day slipped away on us, we found ourselves doing multiple climbs into some of the nicest goat country around, but it just wasn't meant to be. With some nasty weather starting to move in up high, we decided to pack up camp and head down the valley in search of another moose for Dylan on the way out.
It's our last day to find a moose. Big bull. Or second last day. We don't know yet. Probably last day though. By the time we get packed up, get out of here a day early, beat the rain that's coming. Go catch some bull trout, possibly. But it's really cold, crisp morning. Fog's rolling down the valley, so it's really moosey this morning. Hopefully we can get on them.
We spent 2 days calling along a beautiful high country lake that was littered with moose sign, but we just couldn't get them to show themselves. As our time in camp came to an end, it became very apparent that we had made the right choice in taking the moose early in the week. But I'll admit, Spending time in goat country over the course of the week had ignited something in me that I had never expected, and quickly moved mountain goats to the top of my list for animals that I can't wait to chase again. Hopefully, very soon.